Do Super White, Sal. It's the Super White podcast.
Super White is like...
That's what we do, the white dance. No one's got... We're live, by the way, I think, so...
Oh,
we may be live. I don't know. Come on, Faust.
Oh, we are live. We are live.
Are we?
And that's the end of the weekly poll. You've watched the last episode, everybody. Congratulations.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the weekly poll. I'm getting an ad on Twitch. Hey, look, they're promoting Daredevil. I'm Benny the Comic Story, and you guys know me. This is my Twitch channel, which is oddly dubbed the Eligible Monster channel. Go figure. That is Sal from Comic Pop, TV Little House, and whatever else Sal wants to change his name to next week. That is Faust from It's Super Effective and 1,000 top secret projects that involve Marvel. And that is Sammie of Sammie Reads, one of the many contributors to the weeklypoll.net. If you want to be a part of the weeklypoll.net, go check out the website and contact Sal, because I do not regulate that.
Oh, you don't.
Say hello, Sammie. No one's ever met you before. And we lost Sammie's picture. And it's back. Say hello, Sammie.
Well, that was a wonderful introduction, wasn't it? Hello, Don. Yeah, my name is Sammie, and I just started a channel quite literally 2 months ago talking about comic-y things, so... Thanks for having me here.
Yep, no, she's been doing a great job over the channel. If you go to the weeklypoll.net, on the very bottom, you will see contributors, which right now is only Sammie, but very soon it will actually have Jason back in and Comic Island. It's just Sammie's playlist is the only one that seems to work right now. So.
I'm not complaining. This is wonderful news for me.
All right, guys. So today's topics are going to be, obviously, Convergence of last week. Faust loved it, Sal hated it, Benny just didn't read it. So we'll find out what's going... No, I did a whole video on it.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about Joker's amazing makeup and why the tattoos are the greatest thing in the world. And then we're going to talk about Bobby Drake being announced as gay and what Faust's feelings on this are. Because he was ranting long before the podcast, so we had to stop him. He was like, nope, podcast rant. So why don't we kick this off with Convergence, and we'll just start on what I've got on the screen here. Sal, you're in the upper left-hand corner, so why don't you kick off our Convergence discussions?
Well, what are we on, issue 4 now? Or at least it's coming up to issue 4.
Yep.
And the merry old, Wizard of Oz gang is skipping across the desert and fighting Telos, I guess. Who cares?
Actually,
if you like Earth 2, you're gonna love Convergence because no one you like is in that.
Hold that thought real quick, Sal, because I'm going to answer one question that everyone's going to ask until we say it. Rob actually just stepped out today, guys. I know it's normally me that gets too busy to do the podcast. Today, Rob needed to, so we decided to take this opportunity to move things over to Twitch, as we've been promoting for quite some time, and test out a couple of things. That's why it's located here right now. Rob will be back next week. It's just he's busy today. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. He wasn't caught in an incursion, or
that's what they're all saying.
Yeah, or his reality wasn't converged. He's fine.
He's not Deadpool smashing between two worlds.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually not really that down on Convergence, although I am rereading Identity Crisis, and I'm like, oh, I remember when DC used to try and make everything work. And this is kind of I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's fine. Like, it's coming along. This last issue, I think issue 3, was kind of a dud. Like, it felt like you could really just read the wiki and then move on. Like, just wait for number 4.
Okay, so my feelings on the main title is that, and I've been saying this in all of my Convergence reviews, they've got a story, but the story's not enough to fit into 8 issues, so they spread it very, very thin across all 8 issues, and really they could have just done it in, like, 4.
I mean, yeah, that's what I noticed about those first couple issues. They felt very, like, exposition-y, and I was like, I don't really like that. I mean...
the second issue, I think, was the worst, where they did the first issue, where they literally just said, here's Earth 2, look at them have fun, and it's almost as if when they got to the second issue, someone at DC was like, did anybody mention where these guys came from? Should we do, like, an origin opening so we can explain this a little better?
Right. I was talking to Tiffany... one of the members of Comic Pop yesterday, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to wrap up with Convergence number 4. And she's like, it's 8. I'm like, what? She's like, there's 5 more books, and I'm like, oh no. Because we're doing weekly, like every episode of Off the Rack is dedicated to the main title and one of the tie-ins, and oh my god. Like, thankfully the tie-ins are kind of the star of the show, obviously. Like, the tie-ins are the ones that are like what people buy, if anyone's buying. I don't know if did you guys read that article about how like it's one store that I read about, but I've heard stories since then that like Convergence is killing comic book stores right now. Normally, everyone who comes in and normally buys DC is just kind of like, tell me when Batman 40 comes out. So long, take it out of my pull list. I don't want to read any of it. No.
Oh yeah,
like,
no,
it's really hurting.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
you actually work directly with a comic book store retailer. I mean, how's it going over there?
Yeah, no, he laughs about it every week that I come in and I'm like, I need every issue of Convergence. He's like, can you take all the other ones off of my shelf, please?
Yeah, I definitely get that from like the comics retailer side of things, because I mean, I worked in a comic book store for 3 years, so when the title was, I mean, when it was announced, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And I mean, it's so hard to predict what people are going to like. Like, are they just going to want that main storyline? Are they going to like all the tie-ins? Is it going to be good? So it's just really difficult to...
And it's especially difficult because this one's an event where you don't need to read the tie-ins at all, which is good. It's been what we've saying we want, but it's like the tie-ins aren't exactly relevant in any sense.
Yeah.
No. And it's funny because like if they had played I wonder if the tie-ins had been a few moments before Brainiac had taken the cities, if it was not Life in the Dome and it was instead just like the realities the last time we saw them, and then it ended, like each issue ended with like, oh no, our city has been taken or some crap. Like if it had been not connected with Convergence like at all, if they'd be more palpable, if they'd be more enjoyable. I feel like maybe, I mean, but the press is kind of neat. Like, I've been in, like, Catwoman is a horrible issue, but it really sold the premise of, like, Gotham under the dome, or Metropolis under the dome, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, if you had an autonomous city that had no connection to the outside world, like, the food would be controlled by whoever was in charge, and if you have Intergang, then your food will be controlled by Intergang.
But, like, my whole thing is, why is everyone either in Gotham or Metropolis? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question.
No Coast City, no Central City, like, what the hell?
like
The,
at least for, like, just Fawcett City, at least.
Well, the biggest issue I have with the Convergence tie-ins in general is kind of what you were saying, but I think that what Dan, my editor, because we've been doing the weekly whole Convergence overview, and I have noticed is that there's like 3 different tie-ins, and it's almost like nobody sat down and said we need to have a decisive plan for this. You have the tie-in that jokes about the whole thing, which is what I did like about the Supergirl Matrix one. They just made fun of the whole thing. You don't care about her. You don't care about this. No one asked for this comic. Here we are. Then
I like the idea behind that.
Yeah, then you have the ones that are completely serious on the whole thing, like the dome came down and this is how I've been coping with the entire event. Like that's what Barry Allen did. Like the whole issue was Barry Allen being like, I accept that this is my life now. There's no superhero. We can't do this. This isn't gonna work. And then the dome comes up.
Like my speaking of Barry Allen, like my issue with the Flash sort of tie-in was that it's the Flash. You expect something fast. You expect something fun. It was so slow. I don't know if that was to represent Barry doesn't have any powers, so it's slow now. But it wasn't like a good slow. It was just a, can I just read the Flash? I know he's going to get his powers back. I've read everything else.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's also the third one though. The third one where they practically ignore the Convergence itself event, and they pretty much within the first page or two they just open it up as Dome's gone. Here we go. We're gonna fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I've heard a lot of positive criticism about the Superman one, where I think it was 1 page of Superman having no powers, and it was like, Dome's down, Superman's got powers, moving on, fight. Yeah. Like, that issue, that was the first time we read, and I was like, if this is how it's gonna go, this event's gonna be pretty cool. Nope. No, it's not like that.
See, what I liked about the new Teen Titans issue was, like, the Dome was gone about halfway into the comic. Mm-hmm. But it still wasn't about fights. It was about drama in the team. How has this affected each other? And like that's what the new Teen Titans did back in the day. And Marv Wolfman's on it, and Marv Wolfman was obviously on the original run of the new Teen Titans. So you would kind of expect that anyway. And if that wasn't there, people would have complained. But I don't know. I really, really like that issue in particular because I don't want to just see a massive fight for 30 pages or 24 pages. I want to see how has this dome affected everyone. And how does it affect them after the dome is gone? And is anyone dying?
Right. Are they going to kill Starfire?
Well, you know what's annoying about the dying factor? If you think about this, in most events, that's one of our biggest fears as comic book fans. Like, are they going to kill the guy that I like, and then I'm not going to see him for 20 years, Barry Allen? And it's all like, I have no fear as to what's going to happen in Convergence. Issue 2 of every single one of these could be the world's dying, and I'd be like, oh well, none of that is the world that I'm following right now.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and also we all know that after this, DC is just going for creativity over continuity. So it's like, this isn't the last time that we've seen these.
Well, I think that's just exactly why some people are skipping the issues altogether, and they're, like you said, waiting to be like, okay, tell me when all this is over, I'll pick up afterwards, because it almost feels like it doesn't matter, you know?
No, it definitely doesn't matter. Oh, yeah.
I feel as though DC is almost writing off this event. Because when they announced Convergence, I expected our New 52 Batman, our New 52 Superman, it possibly meeting up with the post-crisis and pre-crisis and pre-New 52 and everyone meeting up, and it'd be this amazing event. And it's almost as if DC said, like, everyone likes to joke about it, but I'm starting to think it's true. We're moving, just put out comics that might sell just to kind of keep things moving. Don't even incorporate our main superheroes. Just use Earth 2. Give Earth 2 a nice send-off with a big event.
Yeah, why? I mean, like, I get that people like it, and I've, like, if you went with just the comments, I'd be like, man, Earth 2 is a huge selling book. It's not. Nor is it also, like, a hugely popular series. That said, them cramming it down my throat, I've actually been really enjoying Val Zod. I never really would read him, but I've been enjoying his being Superman. And, like, his, you know, Supermaniness and his costumes.
Supermaniness? Is that an official term?
Yeah, and I dig, like, I dug Thomas Wayne for a little while.
I love that pause.
That was not, because I'm not going to buy anymore. Like, I don't care anymore.
You don't need to buy anymore, because what ended up happening at the end of the latest issue, spoilers, I guess, does anyone really care? Is like I don't, and that you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spoil. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spoil the latest issue of Convergence because no one seems to care. Thomas Wayne gets murdered by the Joker, but it's like that.
No, he doesn't get murdered. He kills himself. And
he
kills out a whole bunch of
right. He kills himself, taking out everyone except the Joker. That's what it was. And the the Talos shows up to, but like he goes down heroically. And if you have not been reading Earth 2, if you have not been reading World's End, you don't even know who the heck Thomas Wayne is.
From the name, you're like, I guess Batman's dad survived in one reality, and now he's Batman. Okay. Oh, and now he's dead. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my favorite parts from that issue is actually when the Joker shows up and he's like, you've forgotten me, and tell us like you're annoying in every reality.
Yeah, that's what I liked. It was like confirmation that the Joker is in every reality, which is also terrifying. But
yes.
Is there a Joker in this reality? Like, do we have a Joker? Is the Joker behind Sammie right now?
It's Jared Leto, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
So he's a hilarious man boy. Should we talk about that, or do we want to?
Let's do more Convergence. That would have been the best segue, but I don't think we're done with Convergence.
You freaked me out now. Now I'm really paranoid. Why did you say that? Gosh.
Oh, one Convergence title I did really like this week was Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, because we saw Superman cry.
Oh.
I didn't finish that book. I gave up on that.
Okay, keep reading it till you see Superman cry.
And then give up?
And then give up.
That's sad.
It was sad, just because like that moment, because I was going to give up, but then I read that moment and I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep reading. It just touched something right down in there. It made me feel things.
Did you get the feels, Faust? The feels?
No, I'm not on Tumblr. But it made me feel things.
He's not a 12-year-old girl on Tumblr. No, he doesn't get the feel.
Every time I get a commenter, and this is not bashing anyone who says that, but the first time I did like one of the sad stories on my channel, and I started getting those comments of, you made me hit the feels, Benny, and I'm like, how old are you? Like,
I'll say it sometimes too, and I'm not even sure at this point if I'm saying it ironically or not, so I'll just let it flow.
Well, so you know what? I want to get the audience's opinion, and I think they have a lot less delay here. So I think this can actually get some actual audience interaction about Convergence. But while that's going on, I want to get your guys' opinions on the situation, because this is something that I wasn't aware of when I first went into it. Now I guess they were promoting it somewhere, but every week is a different time period. So what that meant for me was like I'm waiting for the pre-New 52 one to start. I don't know when that is. That supposed to be next week or tomorrow's issues? But
that was the first week.
Was it the first week? Oh, okay, whatever. Then I don't care. Nothing matters anymore.
Or I guess they were working backwards. I
yeah.
guess.
So we're at
Yeah.
what? The latest one was pre-crisis, right?
Yeah.
That was, I think it was just post-crisis, wasn't it? Because we had Supergirl, Matrix.
Okay. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
that
it
was
that.
post-crisis.
Yeah.
That was-
Okay. No. The latest one was pre, because the Supergirl Matrix was the week before. The latest one was the Superman issue in which Kara got the visions that she's going to die, and then said, "No, I will still save my brother or cousin." Or wow, that would add a whole new dynamic if they were brother and sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
But no, so this one was pre-crisis this week, and at least for me, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm young, but I'm not that old, so like I didn't know any of that stuff.
See, for me, like pre-crisis, like that was what I grew up reading, because how I got into comics was I got two half brothers that are 20 years older than me. They gave up on comics, and then I inherited all of their comics,
Nice.
and so like pre-crisis was like I know more about pre-crisis than I do what's going on at the moment. And so I'm looking forward to that, but also kind of dreading it. And also, I feel like there was a really big missed opportunity, because they could have just done a Supergirl book that was like Supergirl and Crisis on Infinite Earths, where you just saw a different Supergirl every 2 pages or something. And
Yeah.
Yep.
I want something fucking weird from this event, and we don't have anything weird.
No.
No, it's just kind of dumb.
It's like they're trying to make everything make sense, but they're like, here's our multiverse, here's 1,000 different worlds, we're gonna try to make all of it, great example. They're taking like pre-crisis, and they're taking like pre-New 52, but they're not literally taking them from the last issues. They're taking the best moments and then wrapping those in. So we
I
have
like
some.
that though. I like
Do
that.
you?
they
Yeah.
did.
Because, like, I mean, a great example is the Superboy situation, where we're in a world where there's parallax, but we're treating Superboy like he just came into being. Like, it's not, the whole reign of Superman hasn't even happened. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, because parallax happens. I mean, my timeline might be old because it's old.
Parallax is after after the return of Superman. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
the
that's what I thought.
destruction
And at
it's the
that
destruction
point,
of Coast City that helps Hal go nuts.
right? So at that point, Superboy is around. He knows his
Yeah.
powers. He's doing everything. But with the way they portray him in the comic book, he's just been made. He just got his powers, and then he lost them.
Wait, if Parallax is around, yeah, Young Justice would have just formed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have even been anywhere near Metropolis at that time.
It would, yeah,
No.
and he would have got a
he
full
would've-
handle on his powers instead of being like, "Oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, and no one knows who I am." And
Yeah, no, he would have
Yeah.
been like in Hawaii or something.
oh,
with,
don't
like,
we're not going to talk about the Hawaii years.
with Tana Moon and all that.
I liked those years.
The Hawaii
Yeah, they were
years?
fun.
They were
Oh,
fun.
no.
Hawaii Superboy.
Like, yeah, he would have been with Young Justice, or just with Tim Drake and Impulse, because there was a good few months where Young Justice was just Tim Drake, Superboy, and Impulse. Or yeah, they would have been in Hawaii. So that that timeline's weird. That timeline, I feel like I'm
Yeah.
wearing someone else's underwear now.
Are we actually experiencing a situation where people are writing stories that take place in eras that the writers aren't even really sure about?
It's like they're putting creativity
Yeah.
before continuity. I mean, they've never warned us about that.
Well,
No,
they
it's-
said they're going to after the event.
Yeah.
But they kind of implied that this event was going to be the end of like a massive continuity. Like we're gonna close out and then do whatever the freak we want. I mean, Marvel and DC both said the same thing. We don't care anymore. Rage of Ultron, you figure it out.
But seriously,
Well, at least with
They're
DC,
joking about
at least with Marvel, they're still keeping like some form of
they're
extended
not.
continuity.
No, they're not.
Sure they are. No,
That-
you yeah, kinda.
Dude,
They're at least
Tell
lying
me
about it.
yeah. I was gonna say the moment Sammie, you seem to get something to say. Where does Rage of Ultron fit? Putting you on the spot. Where does it fit?
I don't know. I don't know. That is a lot of nonsense they're trying to push at me. I'm just happy 90s Aquaman came back in Convergence. That's all I'm happy about.
Why? 90s Aquaman was super emo. I'm gonna take over the aquarium and I'm just gonna hang out.
But the thing is, he broke down that whole barrier of, oh, I'm riding dolphins and seahorses. Like, he at least had his arm eaten off. Like, how
Yeah.
awesome is that?
And you replaced it with
Yeah.
a rad hook that
Yeah,
turned
but if
into
you
a
haven't-
grapple.
Yeah, if you had an army,
We're all doing
you
hooks
can
now.
like replace it with a hook and be the useless one, or get some sort of prosthetic limb that's like
Yeah.
animatronic or something.
That wouldn't
He
have
had,
like,
like,
the water,
remember
though.
later-
It worked out.
Look, this is a world where they fight beings from space. I'm sure they could make a waterproof prosthetic limb.
Yeah, you get Mr. Miracle to build you one or something like that. Like, get someone who like has access to technology from the new gods or whatever, and you get. But like Aquaman, I think later on when he retired, when he cut his hair, but he still didn't have a new hand, he replaced the hook hand with a water hand.
He did, yeah.
So.
But he didn't need any of that. Arsenal proved we can make an awesome robotic arm with weapons.
Yeah, he could have just called Steel.
Waterproof?
I don't know. Faust, you're the Teen Titan guy. Is Arsenal's arm waterproof? Trivia, go.
We've never seen it in water, from what I know.
Boom.
Boom.
But we've also never seen it blend. I don't think it would blend.
Blend.
Will it really? You gotta try to. Okay, so that's gonna be a new show on Faust channel. Will it blend Arsenal's arm? And he'll just start throwing random superhero stuff in the blender. Will it blend Superman's cape? Will it blend Batman's bat belt?
I would want that.
I say no.
Will it blend Wolverine's skeleton?
Oh my god, my blender broke!
So anyway, what? So yeah, at the end of the day, here's my question. Is anyone gonna like this? Like 5 years from now, is anyone gonna go, oh, shit, you gotta read?
I don't think it's gonna be remembered.
No.
Yeah, right? Like, it's gonna be like Fear itself, where it's just like, what?
I honestly think it's gonna turn into how Axis is handled on my channel, where when Axis was going on, all I got was nonstop questions of, will you explain Axis? Will you do a complete story on Axis? And then within a month of Axis ending, not a single person wants it.
Oh.
I mean,
We were so on board to do Axis as a back issues, and then I was like, hey, when is the last issue of Axis came out? And they were like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh.
like, we're talking about the comic book company that created Crisis on Infinite Earths, which a lot of people to this day say was the first event and the best event in comics. They have not been able to top that since, or capture the magic that was Crisis on Infinite Earths. And until they do, I think all of their events are just going to kind of be like, that was good, but remember Crisis on Infinite Earths? I mean,
yeah.
Blackest Night came close. I think lots of people like Flashpoint. I don't know why. But...
real quick, is anybody else getting static from Faust?
Yes.
Okay.
I am, yes.
So that means something in your head, Faust.
I will say, Crisis on Infinite
Move your
Earths
phone!
is really important. And it really does... It was like one of the first events, really. But, like, I like other events more. Like, I appreciate it, but, like, as far as reading it goes, like, I don't just sit down and write Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, it is a mess. But I will say, it's funny, like, I actually just got gifted a copy of Crisis on Infinite Earths. I haven't read it in, like, a decade, so I'm like, oh boy, I get to sit down and read. I get to actually do what I just said I wouldn't do. And, it's... Who wrote... Was it Wolfman who wrote that? I think Wolfman wrote that one.
Yeah, it was Wolfman.
Wolfman wrote it. You got George Perez. I was looking over my old episode of Avengers JLA, which is written by Busiek and drawn by Perez, and I'm like, this is like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, this is like a DC Crisis on like DC Marvel Crisis on Infinite Earths, and like, I feel like it's a little more straightforward. And I'm kind of like, I prefer that. If I'm like talking about Crisis level events, I like the Marvel DC, like the JLA Avengers crossover. That was the one where someone went like, hey, we're writing comics, right? Like, let's have fun and play with all the realities and play with all the timelines and just do whatever. And, like, DC will say it happened and Marvel won't and just move on. Because they did. At the end of it, DC went with it. They were like, hey, remember those guys over there that we won't name? Anyway, who cares? Moving on.
Yeah, it's just like with the Hulk movie, too. They're like, no, we didn't do that.
No, once in a while they're like in Daredevil, where they have a newspaper of Hulk smashing New York, and in the Avengers when Hulk's like, I broke Harlem. Don't remember it though. Like, don't look it up though, because it really wasn't. It really was kind of crappy. Like,
I looked completely different.
Yeah.
One of my many transformations back into Bruce Banner kind of messed it all up. You guys know who Morph is? I'm kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. Also, my antagonist really sucked, and he looked really bad.
Yeah, like, I think the thing...
we're still getting static from you, Fast. Let's try to resolve that real fast.
Okay, I'll try this.
Everyone dance. Entertain.
I feel like we all went to the same kind of...
We did. We all went...
We're like, woo!
Did that fix it?
Yes.
Yeah, that did. What was it?
I unplugged my mic and plugged it back in.
That, for some reason, always works. Restarting.
Classic.
Okay.
I'm
So
Wait,
my
real
whole-
quick, before you can have your thoughts, you need to dance. We danced for you.
Oh,
Now everyone's watching, Faust. Make it good.
I'm just gonna
There
be
we go.
Ellen. I'm just Ellen.
Pretty good.
So my whole thing of Crisis on Infinite Earths is that, as a whole event, yeah, big mess. But like, it's got individual stories in it that are fantastic, and then and they tie into the bigger event, and that's
Yeah.
what I feel like is missing from DC at the moment. The individual stories are readable on their own, and they tie into the bigger event. Whereas at the moment, the individual stories just are a bit like, that's happening. You can read that if you want.
I think that was a mandate. I feel like the tie-ins they're like, make them separate, just put like the dome in it, and that's it. Like, but write whatever you want. I think that might be actually like a pilot test of the creativity over continuity thing, where they're just like, so who here remembers pre-Flashpoint? Okay, you got that book. Who remembers pre-Crisis? Okay, what do you want to do in pre-Crisis? You got it. And whatever, and just put the dome in it somewhere.
You know what I feel like it is? Like you said, I think it's a test, but I almost feel like to a more extreme of what you're saying, creativity over continuity, where they literally said, we're moving, we're not going to approve anything you've done. Just write it, draw it, send it into the publisher, and just get it done. Like, for 2 months, DC writers have free reign, just pick a continuity and go with it.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that that's not entirely true, because Dan Abnett, he actually goes to the comic book store I go to every week, and I overheard a conversation with him just a few weeks ago, and he was saying, because he's worked on both Secret Wars and on Convergence. I forgot its name just then.
We have been talking about it for 30 minutes.
That is the history. That is the legacy of Convergence. You'll forget it while you're talking about it.
And he basically said that Convergence has had so much editorial on it, like it's been insane. Whereas Secret Wars is just running like indie comics. Like they're a bit like, do what you want, have fun, talk to other writers to make sure you don't mess anything up, but have fun.
That's funny. You know what?
What?
That's scary. Because nobody knows, because everyone just assumes they're doing whatever they want. And if this is what it looks like when DC is like, no, it has to be this way, then
And especially from Dan Abnett, like, he wrote like one of the best runs on the Legion of Superheroes. Like, so you know, like, if he's saying they're editing my stuff and I don't know, like,
yeah, right? No, it's. I love, by the way, that what you just said about how like Marvel's kind of running it like indie comics, like whatever you want to do is the Avengers in the Old West, enjoy. Like you want to do a man thing, Doctor Strange, enjoy. Like that's awesome. Like I'm actually kind of excited for that because it means that we don't have to I don't have to worry about like how it's going to get tied in, especially because I'm sure that Jonathan Hickman's ridiculousness probably would be difficult to anticipate anyway. But that's cool. Like that's exciting actually. I'm looking forward to Secret Wars now more.
which is why I'm looking forward to X-Men 92, even though I have to wait an extra month
yes,
to read
that'd
it.
be great.
Am I the only one who wants Deadpool's Secret War?
I'm sure there's a lot of people who. That'll be fun. I'm gonna read that because I liked the old Secret War book.
Well, I'm going to get it, but I don't usually read Deadpool because I don't like the character.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not a Deadpool person.
Sammy, I was hoping by bringing you into the weekly poll, I would have another
so
Deadpool
sorry.
lover.
I'm so sorry. I mean, in little doses, like, okay, you know, breaking the fourth wall, chimichanga, that's hilarious. But, like, add, like, a character.
Well, they did. See, that's just it. No one knows the whole last 40-issue run, they added a character, and the problem was it didn't sell. So they killed him, and they're bringing back Merc with a mouth. Haha, chimichangas.
Yeah. Did you guys see Deadpool's appearance on Ultimate Spider-Man?
Yes, that was stupid. I hated that.
That was the quintessence of my problem with Deadpool. And the voice actor they got, I think it was the guy who plays Batman Beyond.
No, I could have sworn it was Nolan North. Like,
it wasn't. It was like Will Friedy. It was like Corey Matthews' brother.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, this is awful. Like, because he just wouldn't shut up. And I get that, like, that's kind of his character. Like, I can imagine him interacting with other superheroes or villains, and then being like, when is this guy going to shut up? And that's hilarious. But I don't know, having actual audio attached to it, it really killed the character more for me. I was just like, this guy, Shut up.
So
That said, I am looking forward to the movie.
So you know what's an awesome new piece of makeup? The Joker makeup. Ah, what a segue, right?
Great transition.
Hold on, though. I do want to say real quick. We've got a couple of interesting comments. First, I personally like the chat for Twitch better because they've been a lot more responsive. Overall, they're pretty divided. People want to do Twitch. They want YouTube. They said if we go back to YouTube, we have to bring Sammie. And there's currently a theory running around that Rob got hit with the Terrigen Mist and turned into Sammie. So
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not confirming or denying that theory. I'll let it sit there.
So
You will
much,
be the most interesting and human.
so much like lots of people a few weeks ago were saying, I actually play Quicksilver in the
You do?
Age of Ultron
Yeah.
movie,
Didn't you
and
know
this
that?
is just what I look like when I shave.
I think you do a better job.
Actually, this person brought up a very good point. The YouTube live stream does not work in very many countries. This one does. But overall, our audience doesn't seem to care about convergence because there's a few people talking about it, but overall, they're just commenting on the lack of Dave, Rob, and the inclusion of Sammie. So,
Okay. Well, then let's change topics.
no, I mean, they're all listening. I just find, wow, there's so many theories about you, Sammie. So why don't we take a moment because we've got a lot of new viewers. Why don't you just say what your channel is and what you do again? And just real quick, Sammie is actually, she's not a random person. She's a contributor at the weeklypoll.net, our community website where all of the comic book YouTubers are coming together to try and make a cohesive community for you guys to chat with us and chat with each other. So what is your channel about, Sammie?
Yeah, I would say the weekly poll site looks really good. I like it. You're doing good stuff there. It's nice layout and stuff. But yeah, I'm Sammie, and I just recently made a channel called Sammie Reads. 'Cause I do
hold on a
that.
second, Sammie. You're actually breaking up, so it's probably the worst time to plug your channel. It's like, my channel is YouTube.
Gosh.
It's
It's
sort of
okay.
like-
It's okay.
It's sort of like
Okay.
Kesha trying to plug her stuff.
You're miming it up. We'll come back to your plug in a second. Let's just see if it kind of cleans up here, because one of the issues we're having at Twitch, guys, is I don't normally host the call. I'm in the mountains, which means that I have good internet and then bad internet and then good internet again. Sal normally
Oh,
hosts.
yeah, I didn't host the call today. Whoops.
Yeah. So why don't we? And it's probably going to completely mess up everything, and I'm going to have to fix
don't
it.
do it. Don't end the call.
Okay. All right. Then let's give Sammie one more shot, and if it
Yeah.
breaks up again, then we'll try it. Sammie, you're frozen.
No, I'm sorry. That was stupid. I regretted it as soon as I did it, but I had to commit.
Don't forget to
Okay.
commit.
No, literally, my name is Sammie, and I started a YouTube channel where I talk about comics, and it's much more discussion-based, while you guys have channels that are, I guess with the exception of Comic Pop, are very much more informative on the comics, world. I'm kind of aiming, and I'm kind of, because I sort of somewhat just started, I'm kind of figuring out what exactly the aim is, but it's, I mean, I've been doing weekly, talking about what's been in my comics poll, and then I've also just been talking about basically whatever's going on in the comics community, and it's been really fun. I love interacting with people. It's awesome.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of amazing stuff over there. If I remember correctly, and I may be wrong about this, but I believe Sal came across her channel.
Oh, really?
Might
No.
have.
Was it you or me?
I think it was you, actually.
Oh, no, you know what? I found you because you did the Comics Uno unboxing, and they were promoting your video.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. It was the the comic bento thing.
Yeah, Bento, that
Yes.
was it, yeah. Not Comics Uno was the channel.
Yeah, I was like,
go.
She's going to be on eventually, too. Sal has to work that out, guys. But, oh, yeah, no, Comics Bento, that was right. That's how I found it. And Sal and I were talking about trying to bring in people. But anyway, let's go ahead and discuss another amazing segue. So does anybody have any interesting tattoos on their body?
Not
Like
any
the
that I would-
Joker?
No.
The only one of us I could see having ha 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 tattooed to their body would be Faust.
me too.
I can't get tattoos ever.
Why?
I'm a model, and if I have tattoos, that like cuts half of my jobs.
Well, there you go. Do it.
Damage.
I don't know
though.
if it's.
That's,
Damage on your
Just
forehead.
Damage across the forehead.
I don't
No.
know why. I think it might have just been the cadence with which you said I'm a model, but it really almost sounded like you were going to break into Right Said Fred. And I was really excited for a minute where you were going to be like, I'm a model, and you know what I mean? And I do my little turn on the catwalk. But anyway, let's
No,
move
no,
on.
what Faust should have done was like, I'm a mortal.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
what's
yeah.
going on is basically, if you guys missed it, and I don't know how you did, but they released a supposed promotional image of what the Joker's going to look like in the Suicide Squad movie, and then almost immediately redacted that, stating that it was just a promotional image for the 75th anniversary of the Joker. It's a scrawny Joker with tattoos all over his body, no grin, just lipstick. He's got a grill on, which I thought was the weirdest thing because I couldn't decide if it was a grill or rotting teeth. The way they did it.
I think they're.
That's what I was like.
I've heard that they're like teeth caps because on our Facebook page, like it erupted into a debate about how awesome that look was, and I'm like, what's happening to the world? Like, did the dome just drop? Like, what?
Oh, you went there.
Like, for me, it wasn't even like, they didn't even look like rotting teeth. It looked like someone had just stuck grapes all along it.
Yeah, yeah. And like the explanation from the fan base at least has been that like Batman's stronger than Joker, and of course he would have knocked out his teeth. Those are teeth caps because Joker's teeth have been destroyed by Batman over the years. I mean, like, duh. And I'm like, oh right, because the 75 years of not having that have been so confusing for you. And now it's finally made sense. Like, no, you're just trying to justify this horrible look by, like, just grasping at straws. Oh, no, he has teeth caps because Batman's strong and he punches his teeth out. No. Like, it looks dumb.
I could believe that, though. I could totally believe that.
Yeah, I know, but, like, stop. Like, stop legitimizing things that suck. Like just agree that it's crappy. Just agree with me.
It's shit! Why don't you guys say that? It's shit!
And like, the whole thing with the tattoos is, can you actually see the Joker going into a tattoo parlor and going, girl, I want some ha-ha-has right there, and then
Exactly.
What? Why did the
face.
Joker... Nothing against it, but why did the Joker just become gay? Like... I mean, I kind
There's
of
a
assume
lot
he's in
of
the
theories
closet
about the
because he
Joker.
never did anything with Harley to begin with, but...
Look,
I always
I'm
saw
not
the
saying
Joker as asexual.
Look, I'm not saying the Joker's got a thing for Batman, but the Joker's got a thing for Batman.
That's canon too.
I could
is.
totally believe... Yeah, no, I could believe that. yeah.
That's canon.
Hey, Bats, we should totally do this whole Prince of Gotham kind of thing. And by the way, what do you look like naked?
I don't know. I always looked at the Joker as being asexual or like leaning towards like if Joker was ever like to be in love with anyone, it would be Batman. But I don't think it's a sexual thing. I think it's like an infatuation kind of thing.
See, I always... Yeah,
No, go
I
ahead.
would say it's like an infatuation, and the reason he can't get Batman, and the reason why he always goes back is like, he's like a woman scorned, but like a really obsessive
like,
woman
well,
scorned.
next time.
Well, his new origin, which I'm hoping in issue 40 we finally find, which comes out tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow.
I hope we finally find out if it's actually the new canon for Joker or if it's not. But in the new origin, he's been around forever, and that's exactly it. He's infatuated with Batman because he just can't defeat Batman, and he needs the chaos, and Batman keeps giving order, and it's just like a whole thing.
I would bet money they don't resolve it.
That whole thing, they just leave it open and then just move past convergence. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to spoil 40 because there's a huge spoiler in there that's been talked about everywhere. But
Yeah. Well, if
Brokeback
you've
Gotham.
been reading, oh sorry.
No, I just read a comment that was Brokeback Gotham.
I mean, like if you've read any trades for Free Comic Book Day, then it's already ruined. But like, yeah, I don't know.
no, we shouldn't ruin that on the podcast.
No, I don't want to.
Because I'm going to make a video about it, and I don't want you to ruin my video when I do the title. And
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if like they leave it open ended with the Joker, like where it's like, you know, is he immortal or not? I don't, you know, who knows?
I got a
It's like,
feeling
yeah,
that they're
but how
going
would
to
you just.
Yeah, no,
It's
agreeing
just
with
like-
you. I think they're going to heavily imply that it is accurate, but we're never going to get a confirmation. So that
Yeah.
if they want to come back a year later and be like, nope, all of that is baloney, you know,
Yeah.
it's fine.
You know why I feel that way? Because I've read that already in a book called Court of Owls, where it's heavily implied, but maybe not. So you can have both, so nobody can criticize me.
Oh, the
Like-
brother thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they pseudo resolved that finally in Eternal. They were like,
Yeah,
no, I am your brother. He's like, no, you're not. Fight, fight, fight. I win. You know,
Yeah.
by the way, that's the
against
complete story for
question.
Batman Eternal. That's it right there. Like,
Yeah, I won't spoil the last issue in like a 6-issue run, but I will spoil the last issue in a 60-issue run.
My whole... See, I did a weekly sort of recap of Batman Eternal, and I'd had a green screen and everything. The comic was going in the background, and I'd basically tell people what happened in every issue. And I got to like issue 17, and I went, nothing's happening in this. Can I just have a Stephanie Brown series, because that's literally the only bit I'm interested in.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I second that.
The problem with Batman Eternal, and actually I'll tell a funny little anecdote. The first time that we had Eris come on the channel, he wanted to talk about Batman Eternal, and I'm the big DC guy. Sal's the middle of the road guy. Rob's obviously the Marvel guy, and at this time, that was the three of us doing this. So, we found out Eris was going to be on there, and I had 3 days because I gave up on Batman Eternal like issue 5. And at the time, we were like on issue 23, and I read all the way from 1 to 23 in a single day, just blitzing through every issue of Batman Eternal, and I got to the end, and 23 does the flip where it gets interesting.
Oh.
And it was the funniest thing.
I've heard that.
Yeah, 23 is where you find out, it's where Hush is introduced, and the whole thing goes in a different direction. Mm-hmm. But I found the funniest thing was, just like you, a lot of people gave up on 17 because that's where it was like, why are we cycling characters like this?
But with a weekly title, you can't do that. You can't make your exciting things happen way later. I mean, you're going to lose readership. So.
Well, that's exactly what they did. But even Eris got on, and he had only read up to 17 and stopped reading. And so I had read, but remember that day, right, Sal? I had read past Eris, and I knew all this stuff.
Yeah, you were like, damn it, well, I don't want to spoil it for you, Eris.
But, that's what they did. That was another issue of, 52. They kept cycling characters, and it just didn't exactly work. And I think, that just comes with weekly series in general. If you've got a lot of stories going on at once, you're going to be cycling characters, and all the good stuff is going to happen later on, and no one wants to wait that long.
Nope. So... Let's go.
But he looks like an idiot.
Let's go around the room. You know, I just realized we could technically put all of our cameras together and make one room. But anyway, let's go around the room and decide, just because we're a little off topic now. Let's just what you guys' individual opinions on the Joker's makeup situation is. Let's Sammie, let's have you go first, unless you don't want to.
All right, no, I will. I'll take it. I'll take it. I feel like I see what they're trying to go for. They're trying to go for a more realistic, I think, right? This is what Joker would look like today, I think. But I'm trying, with everything I'm trying so hard to reserve judgment of Jared Leto's Joker until I see the movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but that isn't... I don't know, he was very Macaulay Culkin, and it just was an odd... was that a stupid comparison?
No, I'm now picturing Jared Leto Joker just being like,
ah! That's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing.
Well, now I'm imagining the Home Alone, with Batman pressed against the window behind.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jared Leto, I'm coming for. Oh wait, no, you got to do it as Ben Affleck's Batman. Oh no, Jared Leto. It's an auto-tune, right?
Yeah, he's auto-tuned.
And, real quick, and then we're going to go to Faust's opinion on the Joker thing. I will say this. Everyone's completely bashing Batman's auto-tune. That makes more sense than Batman talking like, you can understand me.
I don't even think he's auto-tuned. I think it's just because he's wearing the armor. I think normally Batman's going to sound like Ben Affleck.
Doesn't that make sense, though? That it would be a robotic masking to his voice instead of, tearing apart his own vocal cords?
Yeah,
I don't think it matters. I think who cares? Whatever. I think it's only auto-tuned because he's wearing the Dark Knight armor. I think when he's regular Batman, he's wearing the actual suit. I think he's just going to be a more gruff Ben Affleck. Yeah. That's what I think. I don't know if it's if Scott Snyder wrote in the margins of Batman 40, by the way, they use robot, he uses a robot auto tuner to make him. I would be like, no, that's dumb. I would be annoyed.
I'm just picturing an editor's note between two panels.
Yeah. By the way, read it like this. Yeah.
Sammie, you were trying to say something about the voice thing.
Sorry.
And Sal was being so rude and interrupting. You don't remember it all, do you? All right, Faust, what's your opinion on Joker?
I think there's this song by a drag queen called Alaska, and it's called Your Makeup is Terrible, and that's how I feel. I can't see the Joker going and getting tattoos. I don't imagine the Joker sitting still for that long. If the tattoos look like he did them on himself as some sort of masochistic thing, I'd be down with that. It doesn't look like that. It looks like he's literally gone into a pile and went, I want some ha-has down there, and, like, damaged.
Yeah. My mom is gonna freak. Like, and he's ripped. So he's such a douche. Like, he just looks like a douche. Where he's always like, oh, I'm gonna work on my delts today, and then after that, I'm gonna get a big smiling lip on my other arm. Like,
Maybe they're temporary tattoos. Did we ever think
yeah,
about
that could be. I
He
mean, like,
just
if they
goes
were
home every night and is like,
tattoos-
oh god, I hate this.
if they were tattoos of all the variations of the bat symbol, I might be a little bit more okay with it. But I think that Joker with tattoos is dumb anyway. Like when Frank Miller, when Jim Lee unveiled that one image from All-Star Batman and Robin where he had that dragon tattoo on his back, his whole back, I was like, this is really stupid. But, you know, I don't know. This is me.
It's whatevs.
It's
Well,
really dumb.
I was about to say, what's your opinion on the costume and makeup, Sal? But I think you've kind of, unless you have more to say on the topic.
I mean, like, he looks like an idiot. As far as, like, okay, let's go down the checklist. He's got green hair, right on. His skin is bleached. Okay. And he's got red lips. Yeah, I guess you're good. I've actually never really seen Jared Leto act, so I'm reserving judgment on it. I mean, the fact is, like, Daniel Day-Lewis could be the Joker, and he might not do a good job. I'd reserve judgment on anybody at that point. But, like, you know, as far as that image looks, it looks really dumb. And I don't care. Who knows it? I don't care who I piss off in this room full of people I emailed, but you know, the Joker makeup looks dumb. Now that said, I think that the idea is that, like, as we said, it's a promotional image, or it's like one possible look for the Joker. I wouldn't even mind if it was a Joker that was unveiled as like part of like the new 50, like not even the new 52, but like in the multiverse, there's a Joker who like really cares about like ink and like like was really into, you know.
Can you? I mean, because I got tattoos, and I know guys who've got a lot of tattoos, and a lot of them get into discussions about the tattoos. Could you just picture the Joker hanging out with his gang one day, and he's like, "Yeah, so I got ha 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 because I like to tell jokes, and I just want to tell people to laugh, and I got damaged because because damage that's how I feel inside. That's when Batman beats on me. That's and then I just didn't brush my teeth for 3 years, and then I got
I got caps. I just don't have a good dental program. Being a bad guy doesn't really help with that. I also have this great bat tramp stamp right here. And,
I think Dan Slott tweeted that one out. Does the Joker have a bat tramp stamp?
Nice. I would not be surprised. If you're doing that, you might as well. Like, at least then it would be funny. I'd be like, all right, I get it.
Someone in the chat like 5 minutes ago said, what if Harley gave Joker the tattoos? Still a terrible idea, because Harley can't touch the Joker, get that physically close to him. Like,
and that's part of her whole character, isn't it?
Yeah, she wants to get that physically close to him. Harley would die if she could give the Joker tattoos, but she just can't, and she's in this sort of relationship, non-relationship kind of thing with him. But it's weird and twisted, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I just did the research for the script for our Harley Quinn Origins. It'll come out eventually, guys. We're just doing a whole bunch of scripts in advance, but it's done. And that's part of her whole thing, where she's like, I got it close to the Joker. I became what he wanted me to be. I became his ditz. Like, they're playing off that she is smarter, and she was pretending because that's what the Joker wanted. But they state she never really got that close to him, and eventually he just was done with her and moved on.
There was actually one point where Harley captured Batman and was ready to kill him, and then the Joker walked in and was like, "Oh, what have you done here, Harley?" And Harley's like, "I did your job for you, Schnookum," or whatever she says. She calls him stuff like that.
Faust, from now on, you need to refer to me as Schnookums.
I will do it so much you'll be very uncomfortable.
On second thought, let's not go that route. We're going weird pull again.
But yeah, Joker.
I love that. That was amazing. That was mad love, and I love that moment. That was that was the whole culmination of their relationship, where he's just at that moment he just couldn't detest her more, and I loved that moment where he's like, ugh, what have I been? He's like, what have I even been doing? At that point, her dressed like Harley. I think for him, he was like, this is vulgar. What we're doing here? You took Batman, you took one of my ideas, and then you explained to me how it works. You have to die.
Yeah.
I like that relationship in that. But
But it also shows, like, if Harley genuinely was as insane as the Joker,
oh yeah, she'd stop him. Yeah, she'd be Batman.
yeah, but she's just not quite that insane. She's pretty insane.
On a funny side note, I don't know if any of you guys read it, but did you read the Harley Quinn Valentine's issue where she dated Batman and then they had they went on a date together. She won him in an auction. They actually went on a real date. Then they both got hit with a gas and had dreams of what life would be like if they got married.
Was that the
not
pot
read
smelling one?
Was that what?
Was that the scratch and sniff, like, pot smelling one? Was that
No,
different?
that was the other
annual.
one. Yeah, it was the
That was the
annual. Yeah.
annual.
Gotcha, I'm sorry. I'm getting my...
That was hilarious. Like, she imagined herself married to Bruce Wayne and his massive fortune, and the two of them becoming superheroes by night, and who needs Robin? Who needs Alfred? You know?
I have it. I just haven't read it yet because I liked half of the Christmas special. I didn't like the Thanksgiving special. So I'm like, I want to like Harley Quinn so badly. I really do, but I just...
Yeah.
But the problem I have with Harley Quinn's book, just we'll digress for a second here, is I like the Harley Quinn book when they tell a story. The problem is they seem to want to intersplice non-stories. Like, oh, now she's going to go collect rent from a tenant and try to go on a date. Now she's going to go into an interspace dimensional exploration party with Power Girl. And now she's going to go to her roller derby. It looks like you have... Oh, go ahead.
Well, that's what my issue is, but the opposite. They're trying to put in a story to a book that should just be about misadventures. It should literally just be the misadventures of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I think it would work a lot better like that, because why the hell does Harley Quinn need a plot? She's Harley Quinn. We're not going to see development there.
Well, it's like Deadpool, and I think what I think they should do is have both, and I think they're doing that, where we have Harley Quinn and Power Girl. So I think that's going to be like the arcing Harley Quinn on adventures, and then we'll have the misadventures of Harley Quinn having a crazy time. What am I doing with my hands? Somebody give me symbols. Ding 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 ding. Look, like you had something to say about Harley Quinn, Sammie. I'm trying to go off your facial reads, but I only know the other two.
Sorry. Yeah, I just, yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on the writer. I mean, Harley can be, like you said, either she can have a story or she cannot, but it depends on how they're dealing with her insane personality. I mean, she can be either done as, like, a sex symbol, or she can be done as a crazy, fun, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so...
Like you said, I think that's the best way to put it. It's all about the writer. They need to decide and that's what I feel with the book. I feel like they don't know what they want to do. So they're just throwing ideas at a wall, hoping something sells like hotcakes, and that's what's going to make the book.
Like,
So.
I keep getting the book because it's one of my favorite comics every month stylistically. I like the fashions in it. It's very modern. The art in it I like a lot, and so the story-wise, we just talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
the art's
okay,
really good, but the story is rough.
Oh, we just lost Sal's video. Oh, he's back. Hey, Sal.
Whoop. Yeah, we
All
almost
right,
lost you too. It's getting...
I'm having some, and like I said, we are testing the Twitch thing. We probably have to tweak out a few things, guys. We are losing quality here and there. As you probably have seen, some of the cameras are dipping out, but this is stuff we will perfect in the future. Just as our first run on Twitch, so we got to kind of figure out what we're doing. But anyway, what I was going to say next is, I think we've talked enough about the Joker makeup. That whole conversation digressed into a series of different tangents and all kinds of... I don't know how we started talking about Harley Quinn. I guess when you talk about Joker, you can't not
Oh, at least
talk
we didn't get
about
that
Harley.
far.
Yeah. But I think it's time for the... It's super effective! I'm trying to do your yell. I don't think I did it very well, but...
I can't do it, so it's fine.
What is your opinions on the way, and Sammie, you had a great opinions on this, so why don't you two explain to us the opinions on how they handled Bobby Drake's coming out party?
No, I want Faust to go first on this.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to express opinion before I hear what he has to say.
Okay, so as a
Wait,
gay person-
real quick, because let me explain the situation so people know what you're about to rant about. So, recently in the all-new X-Men, which is a story about time-displaced X-Men from the past, they've been put into the current timeline, so we have our current X-Men and we have the original X-Men. So what they've recently done in the all-new X-Men is Jean Grey basically read Bobby Drake's mind and discovered he's gay. And then what they had was about 4 pages of her insisting he's gay and her telling her not, and then them trying to figure out how he's gay, but future Bobby Drake isn't gay, and what they're going to do and what they should do. But it was a whole thing where they basically instead of having like any proper way or whatever, and I'm sure Faust will talk about all this stuff in a minute, they literally just said, "Hey, Bobby, you're gay," and he's like, "What?" And they're like, "You're gay," and that's the whole thing. It just kept going. So that's what we're about to talk about. It made headlines on the comic rounds. Faust, what is your opinion on this?
Okay, so for everyone that's... I don't even know where to start with this. So, okay, this is a bit of a beast. First off, I don't think it's a bad thing that Bobby's gay. For everyone that's saying, you can't just turn an iconic character gay, he's supposed to be straight. You've got a lot more straight characters to choose from. We're not stealing all of them, we're stealing one that lots of people don't even care about. So, at the end of the day, you've got a lot more straight characters to choose from. Secondly, anything can happen in comics. If you're okay with a girl that can turn sound into light, going to space, getting the power cosmic and diving into a black hole, you're okay with a character finding out that a character that's been around since the 60s has been closeted this whole time. And yes, he's dated girls, but that's how being in the closet works. Surprisingly, you date girls, try and make people think you're straight. That being said, the way it was done, I think it would have been a lot more powerful and a lot more relevant to the LGBT community if we had the actual Bobby Drake just coming out, develop his relationship with Kitty Pryde, and then sort of say, I can't do this anymore, I'm gay. That would have been a lot more powerful, a lot more relevant to how the LGBT community is perceived in this world, and actually be a lot more relevant to what people go through. Because by just having Jean Grey go, hey, been reading your mind recently, so you like the teen, do you? That was just a bit like... It was an anticlimax and a bit insulting, I guess. It just, like, coming out is a big deal, and it just made it seem like, hey, you can come out and be accepted by having your friend read your actions.
Yeah, I think that was the part that I disliked the most, was that it was more like he kept saying, like, stop, don't read my mind. Like, he said that so many times, and she still invaded his privacy. Like, that mostly was the part that upset me. I don't know why she kept doing that, but that kind of was bothering me. But
yeah, and I especially think, like, okay, it kind of shows the immaturity of this Jean, because, like, I know lots of closeted people. I, like, from sort of reading their actions and sort of saying, okay, yeah, when I was in the closet, that was me. But I don't out them, because that's a dickhead thing to do. And it just sort of shows the immaturity of this version of Jean, that I want to say, I love Jean now, but doing that, I'm sort of like, Jean...
Well, I mean, overall, I haven't liked this version of Jean at all, because ever since she showed up, she's been like, oh, I'm going to turn into a godlike, superpowered being. Now I have psionics. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she, the Jean Grey character, at least she's interesting now, but at the same time, like, I don't know if Bendis meant for Jean to look like a dick. And that's where I have the problem. Like, my issue is really, like, it betrays the lack of understanding of that situation for me. And I'm like, you know, maybe have him do it, or maybe have him get upset with her for having taken it from him. Like, I feel like that was really, like, not cool. And I'm like, and I would like to see that maybe... If Bendis is a genius and he does actually decide to, like, carry that over, like, if Bobby is, like, really upset and he's just like, there's too much to deal with, I'm not gonna scream at you right now. That is better. But if I'm hoping that the story isn't just like, Bobby wasn't willing to do it, we know this because it's 2015 and he's still straight, so we have Jean do it and now it's done. Now the damage is done, we're done. Like, move on. And I hope that's not the case. I hope it's more, like, complicated and interesting and dramatic. I don't know. I just feel like what Jean did was not okay, and I hope that they know that when they were writing it.
And, like, not to be deep, but to be deep. I think, like, the way the media, like, shut up about it, because it wasn't just comic book websites, it was mainstream media that started talking about this. I think it shows just how little we've progressed since Ellen's coming out in the 90s, it was the same situation. It was everywhere. It was suddenly iconic character likes the D. And it was ridiculous. Like every news outlet and every media outlet is now saying it's okay to be gay. It doesn't matter. But as soon as someone comes out, they're like, they're gay. Oh my God, is it the end of the world?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to, what do you guys think? What if you think that this was like almost like a test bed platform where they were like, say if he's gay, see what the response is, and if it doesn't work out, Secret Wars will revert the whole thing and pretend this never happened.
They would piss off the LGBT community. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I
big
think
time.
they had such a good like opportunity to do something with it, and they didn't. They used it very poorly. If that was what they were doing, that was not a good way. I mean, that I feel like by saying like, oh, let's see if this is okay, see how the audience responds to it. I mean,
dangerous.
that's kind of setting a bad precedence for how it is in real life. Like, do you come out as gay and then see how people feel about it, and then oh no, I redact it because you know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
That would be. I've seen a lot of TV shows and stuff. I don't know that many gay individuals myself, but I've never heard of anyone going like, I'm super gay. Not really. You guys didn't accept me. It was all a
you guys
joke.
don't like that?
I mean, have you ever seen that actually happen, Faust, or is it like once they're out, they're out?
I mean, I think like people say like, oh, once you're out, you're out. Like in reality, I have to come out at least once a week because I meet new people. And like this is the thing that comics just don't get. When you come out, that's not the only time you come out. Every time you meet someone new, you have to be like, are they a homophobic person? I'm just gonna kind of dance around this for a couple of weeks, and then just suddenly casually work in that I like dudes. And see how they react. Oh, they reacted badly. Okay, bye forever. And
For the record, you didn't casually dance around anything with us. I don't know if you knew, if you assumed that we knew already.
you watched my videos.
I know, but
I mean, no, there's no episode in which you say like, "Hey, everybody, I'm gay," but like, yeah,
exactly. Like
If you watched any of my first 10 videos where I'm out of my mind drunk,
we don't go that far back. When we were looking at bringing you on, we watched a good chunk of them, and I think the actual question was, he may or may not be. Let's not approach it. And then just you got in one call and you're like, so as a gay man, I'm like, he's gay.
like, wait, you don't go that far back about which Mojo does?
That's an argument all unto itself. Watch Mojo's like, we're gonna go as far back as humanly possible to things he hasn't done in months.
I love how everyone's like, is Faust gay? Is Faust gay? It's like, do I speak another language? I'm pretty sure I just said I was gay like 10 times.
yeah.
No, for the record, we are just to reaffirm what you're talking about right now. I would say we've gotten at least a third of the comments right now since we started talking about this of is Faust gay? Like I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
You know
I feel
what
like, yeah. So the question really will become, moving on, is the question of like, what does this mean for current Bobby? And I think the idea here is, and I think Marvel has actually said out loud, like, no, he is too. Like, we'll deal with that. Like, we're getting there. Do you believe them?
See, I think Marvel's much better with gay characters than they are compared to DC.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah, because DC's like, you can have one gay character at any given time, and they will have their own book, and when their book is cancelled, they will disappear for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, unless you can't. Well, wait. You had Batwoman. We're talking about Batwoman, and the Question.
But if they were the same book.
Right, but if you have more than one, not only do they have to share the same book, but they have to date, and they also can't get married.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah.
I'm not even gay, but I'm still irritated with how they handled the whole Green Lantern's gay situation. He gets one page on the one thing that you totally felt like this was probably a woman in the original version, and then they just, we're going to forget all about it.
It would be totally mind-bending if we made him gay. And it wasn't even it wasn't even a lantern that mattered. Not to say like there were certain, but you know.
If they turned around and just suddenly said, Hal Jordan's gay, then people would have been all up in arms about it, and it would have been fantastic. But since it was just a character that didn't matter, it's just a bit like...
They didn't even take the original Alan Scott. They're like, here's a new version you've never heard of who just shares his name. Yep. Oh, by the way, he's gay.
Yeah, and he is too. Yeah, lame. So yeah.
Okay.
At least gay people, we have our own version of Superman and Lois Lane in Billy and Teddy. Like, you can't break Billy and Teddy up, otherwise I will come for
That's
you.
North Star and the other guy, right? Or I got it wrong.
No, Billy and Teddy are the two characters from the Young Avengers.
Young Avengers. Yeah.
See, I don't read that.
That's a really great relationship that I really dig, and I'm like, good for them. Like, good, like yeah, don't break them up. And also, like, I like that it's just a relationship. That it's not like, oh, this is our gay relationship, and we point to it whenever we want to talk about how progressive we are. It's just like, it's just a nice little, it's just a thing. Like, it's a consequence of these characters all like cohabitating, and that's cool. Like, I like that.
And they joke about it, like when Billy had to change his code name to Wiccan from Asgardian because they knew if the media found out about him and Teddy, they would joke about the whole Asgardian sounding like Asgardian.
Asgardian. Matt Damon. Sorry, I did a whole Team America thing from like forever ago.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. See, that shows you how old I am. She doesn't even know the reference.
No, I don't know what's happening.
There's an old movie from when I was a kid called Team America in which they were puppets running around, and there was Matt Damon, and it was made by the South Park guys, and Matt Damon's role was entirely Matt Damon. That's all he said the entire movie.
Wait, you've never seen Team America?
Vash, you're also getting old. I'm just letting you know now.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not.
I had a
By the
depressed childhood.
I will never get old. By the time I'm 50, I will have so much plastic surgery, my body parts will only just be 18 years of age.
You were very passionate about that. That was scary.
Yeah, it was.
Because it's true.
Have you met Joan Rivers?
No, I won't die from my plastic surgery. I got dark. I'm sorry.
Wow. All right. And on that note, I think we should do an official. And guys, we're going to hang around a little bit afterwards because I do want to chat, see what you guys preferred, what you guys didn't prefer, that kind of a situation. But we are going to officially close the recording of this. And if Rob does re-upload this onto his channel, that's what he will be doing. So in closing of our actual podcast portion of this, I'm Benny the Comic Historian. You guys know who I am. I think most of you guys came from my channel and Rob's, and we do a lot of collabs anyway. So, but it's youtube.com/comicstorian. Sal is from Comic Pop. They do a lot of weekly stuff where they chit chat and they have like discussions about comic books with him being the veteran and two guys who don't know what's going on in comic books, and they talk about it. And they do a lot of other shows around there that honestly, I'm not trying to be rude, but I just ran out of time and can't watch them all. But, but if you're looking for great discussions, that's Rob. Faust does a lot of history of, discusses a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys know who It's Super Effective is at this point. It's Super Effective! I can't do it. But
I can't either. It's cool.
But he does a lot of great stuff. Just did a Spider-Gwen video. And our guest today is Sammie Reeds. If you do a YouTube search for Sammie Reeds, you will find her, and I will post the link right now. And that is it again, if anybody clicks it. But she's a contributor for World Wide Web. She is a contributor for www.theweeklypoll.net, a website where the entire comic book YouTube community is attempting to come together to give you a community where you can chat, read articles, see all of our videos, and she is a part of that, contributing videos. You can find her on the bottom right now because contributors are on the bottom, but due to a glitch, she is the only contributor, even though she's not.
Yeah.
And she is proud of that.
I am proud of that, yeah.
Do you want to say anything, Sammie, about your channel real quick before we kind of sign off on the officials?
Yeah, I'm here to hang out and chat. This is the worst self-promo ever.
You'll get used to it, trust me. Eventually, you get used to self-promoting. It's fine.
Oh, I'm sad.
But no, yeah, Sammie's got a great channel. She does a lot of discussion. She does similar to TV Little House and not Faust. God, stuff that Sal does. But with her own brand, different from it. So it is different. It's not just a carbon copy or anything like that. I think that's all we have. Rob is expected back next week, guys. We don't know where this is going to be located. It may be on his channel. We may come back here. We may talk to Twitch like we're trying and get a weekly poll channel. If we don't, we may be here.
Yep.
Everyone,
I
just
will not
tweet
be
at
here
Twitch.
next week, by the way.
Yeah, tweet at Twitch to say the weekly poll needs its channel.
Yeah.
That actually might go badly and they might ignore us. Don't do that! But thank you guys for joining us today. Like I said, we are going to hang around a little bit afterwards, but we are doing an official close to the podcast portion of our podcast. And I don't know what else to say. Bye. Okay, and that'll be where the video cuts off. I'm gonna actually hit end on it right here. It's still recording.